everyone, it's Harry Frankfurt. Today I'm going to be talking about the law of attraction. Now I know a lot of you will be a little bit skeptical, but bear with me and make sure you subscribe so that you can see future videos about this and other topics that I talk about. This is something that I know a lot of people roll their eyes at or don't believe, and I can understand that. As a kid I was really pessimistic. I had a lot of sadness and torment and just dread. I didn't see the joy in things, and I didn't see, and this is all key to what I'm going to be talking to you about. But as a result, if I woke up and stubbed my toe, I would end up being like, oh, this day's gonna be awful. And of course it was, because I put that out there. I told myself that this day was gonna be awful, and then after stubbing my toe, my milk would be off, my bus would be late, or I'd miss my bus. There's so many things that can go wrong, and on those days, and we've all had them, you wake up and everything that can go wrong does go wrong. And the thing is, at the first event going wrong, in any situation, any event or situation or circumstance that happens in your life, you have the choice to decide how you take that piece of feedback, so to speak. So stubbing your toe could be a miserable event. It could be the worst thing to happen to you after waking up. Or it could be like, ah, shit, okay, well, moving on. The reason I'm telling you this about the way you react to situations occurring in your life is because it is key to the law of attraction. Let me tell you a little story. When I was a kid, like I said, I was very pessimistic, I was angsty, I was very depressed, to be honest with you. I went through a lot of things as a child that led me to believe that life was just shit. And I just had this belief, and for whatever reason, it was. Because I believed it, I let my past predict my future. And this is proven in psychology. If you look at neuroplasticity, this is similar to the idea of the law of attraction, in that if you hear something often enough, you believe it. If you believe it, you will see it. There's the bias. There's some bias where, you know, the things you believe to be true, you will see more often. As a kid, I was always expecting the worst. I didn't have any real hope for the world, and I didn't have any real excitement for life. And every morning, and my dad, I'm not going to say he was a key factor in this, but of course it was a family thing. I was a child, I was living with my family, and I will never forget, as a kid, my dad always seemed really upset, and he was going through his own stuff, and, you know, looking back on it now, he's been able to explain to me that he was going through pretty similar, well, not similar things to me, but he was going through the similar thoughts, so we understand the pain we were suffering from. A little bit sidetracked. Every morning, without fail, my dad, who I knew was sad, I knew he was depressed, and I knew he was struggling, every morning when he took me to school, he would walk outside, so he'd open the front door, take a step outside, and pause. What a beautiful day. As a kid, I would always have something to come back with, like, it's cold, or it's hot, or it's raining, or I was looking for the cloud and not the silver lining, and my dad was looking for the silver lining. That is something that at the time I really didn't understand it. At the time I was really oblivious to what he was doing, and I guess I was just being difficult. I was looking for the bad side in things, and I see this in people now where I'm like, you get given a day to be alive and you're upset because the temperature's not right. I'm sorry, you're still alive. There's absolutely nothing wrong. I exist. I am healthy. I am happy. How could there be anything wrong in the world? As I grew older, I started to realize that my dad was doing that because if you say it's a shitty day, you hear yourself saying it. And this is another thing about the law of attraction and the actual psychology of the law of attraction. Your subconscious, I'm gonna go a little nerdy on you. Our brains are like a computer. The conscious mind is like the applications and the programs that you use on it. They change everything to be understood so that we can understand what, you know, we have a way of interacting with ourselves, and ourselves have a way of interacting with us. So that's why when we get a thought, I'm hungry, that isn't the message that our stomach sends or the hormones are sending. That's the message that we get because our conscious works on a thought process, on a program basis. The unconscious works on impulses, on neurons firing, on stuff that we don't understand, and it doesn't understand us very well. So when we say something and we hear it, our unconscious mind doesn't know to not believe it, or doesn't know, there's no emotion there. It's just this is all true. So it takes every everything in. Everything you say, everything you hear, everything you do, everything you look for or look at, it is taking in, and it's just, it's building an image of the world based on that, and then sending the impulses and the messages to your conscious mind to make it into something we can assess and analyze. So from that, when you say things like, oh, life is terrible, your unconscious mind doesn't know that you're lying. Your unconscious mind just thinks, oh, okay, well, in that case, I'll just send out these messages to the conscious mind that my life is terrible, and vice versa. The point I'm trying to get at here, and it's very difficult for me to get to the point here, is that your unconscious mind is always listening, and there is a feedback loop which is described very well in Terry Hawkins' Why Wait to Be Great, It's Either Now or Too Late. That book, she literally draws it out, where your unconscious mind hears something, it has to be true, it makes changes to you to align with that truth, and therefore your behavior makes it true. Basically, it's just a feedback loop, and it all starts at the unconscious mind, which doesn't know to question things. When you're hypnotized, when you're meditating, when you're asleep, your unconscious mind is open, and there's no barrier of the conscious mind saying, oh, but I've got to do the groceries, I've got to do the bills, you know, whatever. There's no conscious mind reminding you of the physical everyday life. It's just your unconscious mind, which is your inner self. So the importance of the unconscious mind is that it basically believes everything it hears, and it will change your behavior as a result of what it hears. So that is the physical, personal, me, psychological level of the law of attraction. So when I say, what a beautiful day, then I will automatically start looking for the things that are beautiful about it. You don't have to believe it when you say it, but if you say it, you will believe it. Now, moving into attracting things into your life, and I will give a few examples of this. The reason I wanted to do this today is because last night, and I will insert a picture, it is Friday morning, the 5th of May today. Last night, I was watching a documentary called Happy on Netflix. By the way, watch it, it's so good. I just decided that I was going to test the planet. I was going to test the universe and this law of attraction, because I've seen The Secret and I'm into the law of attraction, and I have had evidence of it in the past, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a test, and I want the planet to show me a feather. I have no reason to find a feather. I live in the city. How often do you come across a feather? So I wrote that down before I went to sleep. I went to sleep, I woke up, and I was so excited for my walk. I didn't think about what I'd written in my journal last night. No, I didn't even look at my journal this morning. I just woke up, had my coffee, got dressed, and went for my walk. The moment I step outside, I walk out from under our building, and for whatever reason, I looked at the floor, and there were like 4 feathers. I don't know why. I don't know what these feathers would, I don't know how the feathers got there. I don't know, and I don't know what made me look at the ground in that specific spot and be like, oh my god, there's the feathers that I asked the planet for. I asked the planet to show me feathers, and the fucking planet showed me feathers. I don't know. I don't have any other logical explanation for that. Some would say that it's the bias of you wanted to see feathers, so you were looking for feathers, so the feathers have always been there. But then when I came back from my walk, I took a photo of the feathers because I knew that I was going to make this video, and 2 of the feathers had gone. I don't know. I don't think the feathers would have stayed there indefinitely or would have been there for very long, because an hour or 2 later, they were already flying away. The feather thing, my mom and I can't really explain. That is, in my opinion, a very black and white, like, I wrote something down asking the planet for it, and then I forgot about it, and I woke up and then they fucking were. A couple of days ago, right, I couldn't find my G7X charger. So I wrote down that I wanted the universe to help me find the G7X charger. Because I was looking, I knew I'd seen it, and I've just moved, so everything's all over the place. I had written in my journal a few days ago when I lost my G7X charger that I wanted the planet to help me find it, because I had no clue. As I'm coming home, I had decided that I wanted to attract a coin, because a feather, while it doesn't make sense to me why there was a feather in my line of sight on the day after I had asked for a feather, I was like, okay, maybe because I live in the city, pigeons had a fight or something. And I am telling you, I'm trying so hard to be skeptical. Like, it made sense that pigeons would have molted feathers there, and then, like, I don't know. I tried to explain it off, and I was like, I want to see a coin. Then I'm doing my makeup to make this video, and I find my fucking G7X charger in my makeup bag, which doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I remember seeing it with my other camera's charger, and I know where my other camera's charger is. I wasn't thinking about my G7X charger when I was doing my makeup, so it wasn't like, oh, of course it's here. Like it didn't make any sense to me. I just found it. So that, I think, could be evidence of the law of attraction working for me again, because I wasn't thinking about attracting anything. I had thought about it and it came into my life. And at the end of this, I will give you some nice short tips. I will try and summarize all of this. Summarize all of this. So those are two very recent, like very like what instances, like it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Other things that I've attracted into my life: the trip to America. Last year, my New Year's resolution, I wrote it down, I said it out loud, and then I pretty much forgot about it. I wanted to go to TwitchCon. I had no reason to believe that I would. I had no steps that I was taking to get there. It wasn't like your typical goal. Like at first it was a typical goal where I was like, okay, well I'll just live stream and ask for, you know, the amount of money that the tickets cost, and then hopefully by the time I get to the actual TwitchCon event, I'll have enough money to buy the tickets and get over there. Didn't have a passport. I needed to get a passport before I went to TwitchCon. It was really something that, like, looking at it from a distance, you'd be like, you think you're going to TwitchCon, but I don't see that happening. By the way, TwitchCon is the Twitch convention in America. I know this is a long video and I apologize, but it's really important that I get all of these points out. So the TwitchCon dream kind of got pushed to the back of my mind. I wasn't thinking about it. I was busy focusing on other things. I was working on my uni stuff and just other stuff, right? Other things were on my mind. About a month before TwitchCon actually was due to happen, I still didn't have a ticket to TwitchCon. I still didn't have flights to America. I still didn't have my passport. At this point I was kind of like, TwitchCon, because people started posting about it. They're like, hey, I'm going to TwitchCon. And my friend sends me a message and says, I have a spare ticket to TwitchCon. If you can get your passport and your flights organized, you can have the ticket for free and you can stay in the hotel with me for free. And that, again, doesn't make any sense. There was no reason for me to be going to TwitchCon, but I went because I had told the universe with conviction that I was going. I told myself I was going, and even though I had forgotten about it for like 6 months or so, I went because I said that I was going to, and I did. Time and time again, I get evidence of this working. For those of you who haven't watched The Secret, I strongly suggest you do. It's on Australian Netflix. I believe it should be on American Netflix as well, but if not, you'll be able to watch it in some way. Basically, I believe that I have attracted these things into my life using the following steps. I was specific. Going to TwitchCon in that year, that was very specific. The next thing I did was I wrote it down, or I made it physical in some way. So writing it down, typing it up, putting it somewhere where it's like, okay, it is a thing now. It can be seen, it exists. Even though the result doesn't exist yet, it does. The idea and the goal does. So it exists. Now everything else just has to align to make it happen. The third thing I did with all of these instances is I forgot. I wasn't thinking about it, I wasn't looking for it, I wasn't working to getting it, I wasn't actively pushing it to happen. I had forgotten pretty much altogether with all of these instances that that was a thing that I had asked for. The next thing is like having faith. For instance, with the America example, I got the opportunity to get into TwitchCon and have somewhere to stay at TwitchCon, but I didn't have my passport or flights. And I didn't have any travel booked, and I didn't really know how I was gonna get it all together. And thankfully, by the grace of, you know, you guys and a few friends, I was able to get the money together and get over there. But I wasn't worried. I know my friend was worried because every day he was messaging me being like, hey, you got your tickets, you got this, you got, like, come on, please make sure you're coming. Like, I need you to actually take this ticket, otherwise I can sell it to someone. And I just was like, yeah, of course I'm going. I don't have any evidence of that, but of course I'm going. Like, I've just been given a ticket. I didn't even think I'd be able to get a ticket, and I was still of the faith and the belief that I was going. Does that make any sense? Like, I was just fully trusting in this event happening. The G7X charger, I knew it was going to show up. I just wasn't expecting it to show up. Like, I wasn't looking for it. I just had faith when I thought about it that it would show up. For those of you who are strong believers in prayers and miracles, Like it's one and the same. You don't have to believe that it's the planet doing it. You could believe that it's God or Buddha or whoever you believe in. For some people, it's more important to say that they attracted it, that they are the creator. For others, it can be beneficial or natural to think that it is being given to you by someone else, by an external force, whether that be the planet or a god being or aliens. Like I'm not discriminating in any way, shape or form what you think makes this happen. There's scientific explanations for it as well, so it doesn't have to be a theist thing at all. I needed to make this video because when I saw the feathers and when I found my G7, when I saw the feathers, I was like, okay, that is a fucking sign. That is a sign, and I asked for it. And the planet fucking provided. Like, that was just too obvious to me to pass up. So I did it because of that. And then when the G7X thing happened, I was like, okay, yeah, okay. Okay. And then of course I had the trip to America as evidence as well. And I'm starting to kind of see the pattern where it's like, write down what you want, make it a physical thing, you know, draw it even, like whatever you are naturally inclined to do that. Just something that you can make it a physical thing, right? Don't think about it. Don't focus on it. Just forget it. It's okay. And then go about your daily life. It will fucking happen. Like, whether you like it or not, it will happen. I didn't want those feathers, and I didn't, you know what I mean? It's so bizarre. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, once you forget about it, it will just come into your life. And I know that sounds really weird, but I mean, if I were to make as close to a scientific explanation for this as possible, it is you telling your subconscious or your unconscious that you will find this thing. And then it's like, okay, so it starts, and the world works on vibration. I don't know how much I believe in the whole vibration thing. Like, I get it. I don't know how much I understand it though. I believe it, like it's known to be true, but I don't get it. So take this with a grain of salt, but from what I understand, once your unconscious believes something will happen, it sends off a specific vibration, which allows that thing to happen. I don't know how that works. I don't get it, but that's apparently the scientific explanation for it happening, or as close to as I can give you right now. I just like to think that if your unconscious, your true self, believes in something, then there is no reason why it won't happen. I don't know. Whether there's a reason or not, it doesn't matter. It's worked for me. It's worked for several other people. So I will keep you guys updated on this and other things that I attract. There is another thing, I guess you could call them a thing, that I attracted into my life. But we will talk about that in another video. And you guys will see me in the next one, which will be uploaded tomorrow. And yeah, the best way to know about that getting uploaded is to subscribe and hit that bell. You guys will see me in the next one, so make sure you subscribe to know when it goes up. Hit that bell, baby. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Okay. Bye. Peace, love, and happiness. Good vibrations. Bye, guys.